There's a language women speak that never uses words. It lives in the way a body moves, in what gets revealed and what stays hidden, in the moments when someone's guard quietly falls, but only when you're the one in the room. And when a woman shows you a specific part of herself, one she instinctively shields from everyone else, she's not being casual. She's letting you pass something into her trust, into the version of herself the rest of the world never gets to see. That's not a romantic notion. That's biology. That's millions of years of instinct pointing in one direction toward you. What follows are 9 signals that most men move through their entire lives without ever recognizing. You are not most men. Think about the last time something shifted between you and a woman and you couldn't explain why. The atmosphere between you changed. She moved differently. Something in your chest responded before a single thought could form. That was not your imagination running. That was your biology doing exactly what it was built to do. Women don't always reach for language when something matters deeply. Sometimes a feeling is too raw, too tender, too early to be handed over in words. So the body goes first. It always has. When a woman exposes a part of herself that she normally keeps guarded, that's not an accident. That's her body making a decision about you. One, her words haven't finished forming yet. Over the next several minutes, we're going to walk through 9 of those moments. 9 wordless signals where her body tells the truth before her lips ever could. And one of them, the 7th, is so deeply wired into human biology that once you recognize it, every moment you've ever shared with a woman will suddenly rearrange itself into something that finally makes sense. But first, there's something almost every man gets completely wrong about attraction. And it's the exact reason most of them never see what's been right in front of them the entire time. The first signal is the neck reveal. Most men believe attraction announces itself through conversation. It doesn't. It announces itself through what she chooses to show you. Picture a quiet moment, an ordinary evening, maybe a random afternoon. Mid-sentence, without any thought behind the gesture, she reaches up and sweeps her hair off to one side. Her neck is bare. Her eyes stay on yours. And something changes in the air between you. You feel it in your chest before you can name what it is. That moment is not random. The neck is one of the most vulnerable and unprotected parts of the human body. Every survival instinct we carry says to guard it. So when a woman unconsciously exposes her neck in your presence, her nervous system is overriding its own defense mechanism. That's not politeness. That's not habit. That's her body arriving at a conclusion that you are safe, that she wants you closer. You felt the weight of that moment before. You simply never had the language for it. When she bares her neck to you, she's offering you access to the most protected part of herself and quietly hoping you understand what that costs her. The second signal is the wrist flash. Attraction is rarely obvious. Sometimes it arrives as quietly as the turn of a wrist. And this is a signal most men have witnessed hundreds of times without once understanding what they were seeing. She's talking, animated, sharing something that made her laugh. And her hands are open, moving through the air, and you notice it. Her inner wrists are turned toward you, palms up, the pulse visible just beneath the skin. She has no awareness that she's doing it. The inner wrist is thin-skinned, fragile, intimate. It's where the blood runs closest to the surface. In the study of body language, exposing the inner wrist is among the purest unconscious signals of openness and trust a person can offer. She's showing you something raw, something wordless, something she doesn't extend to just anyone. Watch for it the next time you're with someone. Notice the difference between open palms and exposed wrist versus someone sitting across from you with crossed arms and closed fists. The contrast will stop you cold. Vulnerability lives just beneath the surface of that wrist, and she's letting only you see it. The third signal is the collarbone trace. The first 2 signals are quiet, almost invisible, unless you know how to listen. But this one is different. This is where she stops whispering and starts guiding. She's leading your attention exactly where she wants it, whether she realizes it or not. You're deep in conversation. The rest of the room has gone soft, and her fingers drift slowly, almost absent-mindedly along the ridge of her collarbone. She traces it. Maybe she touches a necklace that didn't need adjusting. Maybe her fingertips settle in the hollow of her throat. This is not fidgeting. This is not nerves. The collarbone sits precisely at the threshold between the public and the private, and when she draws your eyes there, she's testing something consciously or not, whether you'll notice her standing at that line. This signal is not about comfort. It's about invitation. A slow, quiet dare to look a little further than the surface. Her fingertips are drawing a map, and that map leads somewhere meant only for you. The fourth signal is the shoulder drop. Something shifts here. The first three signals are about openness, about trust building between two people in real time. But beginning with this one, we cross into something heavier. These are signals of invitation. And there is a real and important difference between a woman who trusts you and a woman who is pulling you toward her. The conversation has gone quiet and personal. The noise around you has dissolved. And then, without preamble, she slides her jacket off one shoulder. Not quickly, slowly, as if she wants you to notice, as if the act itself is the message. Removing a layer in someone's presence is one of the oldest trust signals in human behavior. It is symbolic disarmament. She is literally taking off her armor while you watch, and the slowness is everything. Psychology shows that gradual revelation creates a far deeper emotional response than anything sudden, because desire doesn't live in the reveal itself. It lives in the anticipation, in the space between what's hidden and what's offered. What she's removing isn't fabric. It's the distance between who she is with the world and who she is willing to be with you. The fifth signal is the inner knee turn. This one hides in plain sight, and 99% of men will pass right over it every single time for the rest of their lives. But once you truly see it, you'll find it in every room you ever walk into from this moment forward. You're in a group, 4 or 5 people, all talking, all engaged, and something pulls your eyes downward. Her knees are pointed at you, not toward the group, not toward the door, not toward anyone else, directly at you. Research on body orientation is unambiguous about this. We unconsciously aim the most sensitive and intimate parts of ourselves toward whoever we are most drawn to. It is not a deliberate choice. It runs deeper than choice. She may be making eye contact with someone across the room, laughing with the whole group, performing perfectly in the social moment, but her body already reached a conclusion her mind hasn't said out loud. Her knees are quietly delivering that conclusion to you. Her mouth belongs to the group. Her body belongs to you. The sixth signal is the lower back arch. Most conventional wisdom says attraction begins in the eyes. And at the start, that's true enough. Eye contact opens the door, but deeper attraction, the kind that moves past curiosity into something genuine and undeniable, the kind that pulls you forward without asking permission, that doesn't announce itself in her eyes, it announces itself somewhere else entirely. She reaches for something above her, or she stretches after being seated for a while, and for one unhurried moment, you see it. The natural curve of her lower back, accentuated, effortless, unguarded. Her body speaking a language that existed long before any human being invented words for it. Across every culture that has ever been studied, the lumbar curve is among the most universally recognized signals of feminine beauty and attraction. This is not something society programmed into you. This is biology in its most ancient form. Millions of years of evolution carved the signal into the human body. And when she lets you see it, whether the moment is conscious or not, it is one of the deepest biological invitations the human form knows how to extend. That curve is not coincidence. It is a conversation your own DNA already knows how to answer. The seventh signal is the hip shift. At the beginning of this, you were told there was one signal that changes everything. One signal so primal, so thoroughly encoded into what it means to be human, that seeing it rearranges every moment you've ever shared with a woman. This is that signal. She's standing in a doorway or leaning against the counter, and she shifts her weight onto one hip. Her hand rests there, easy, natural, like she's done it 10,000 times, and then she looks back at you over her shoulder, and something ancient moves inside you. Something completely outside of thought, outside of logic. You don't decide to feel it, you simply feel it, immediate, deep, undeniable. The hip-to-waist ratio is the single most studied marker of female attractiveness in all of evolutionary psychology. It crosses cultures. It crosses eras and geographies and every boundary society has ever constructed. When she draws attention to that part of herself near you, whether or not she's aware of the moment, it is the most primal signal the human body knows how to send. This is not learned behavior. It was not absorbed from a magazine or a film. It is encoded, written into the architecture of human attraction itself. And it is directed at you. Every man has felt that pull before, that wordless, full body, knowing that something just shifted. You felt it and couldn't explain it. Now you know exactly what was happening. When her hips speak, every cell in your body already knows the language. The eighth signal is the lip moment. We are now in territory most men never reach, not because it's hidden or complicated, but because it happens so quickly, so briefly, so quietly, that if you blink, you'll miss the most honest thing she will ever show you. Mid-conversation, words flowing, and then everything pauses for half a breath. Her eyes drop from yours, fall to your mouth, just for a moment. And then softly, barely, she bites her lower lip. Just barely. You'd miss it if you weren't present enough to catch it. She looks away with the faintest shadow of a smile. Not embarrassment, not anxiety. Her mind just raced ahead of the moment, past the conversation, into something that hasn't happened yet. During states of heightened attraction, blood flow increases naturally to the lips, and touching them is a self-soothing response to a feeling the brain can barely hold. Neuroscience confirms that lip-focused gestures activate the same brain regions tied to anticipating physical closeness. She isn't choosing this response. Her body is answering something it feels but cannot yet speak, rehearsing something her words haven't given permission to yet. When her lips move like that, she is not searching for what to say next. She has stopped thinking about the conversation entirely. She is feeling what comes after the words stop. The ninth and final signal is the full proximity surrender. Every signal up to this point has been a fragment, a single word in a sentence her body has been composing since the moment you met. This last one is not a fragment. It is not a whisper or a quiet test. This is the complete sentence, and only the man she has chosen will ever feel it. A crowded room. She could stand anywhere, sit anywhere. A dozen open spaces surround her, a dozen easier options, but she's beside you, close, closer than the room requires, closer than social convention demands. You feel her warmth before any part of her ever touches you, and then her shoulder brushes yours and she doesn't pull away. She doesn't adjust. She doesn't reclaim the distance. She leans in, quietly, slowly, as if the space between you was the last thing standing in her way. And in that moment, you understand that every wall she ever built around herself is gone. She took them down for you. This is the final vulnerability display. Everything before it was a single word. This is the whole sentence fully formed. When a woman removes all physical distance between herself and you, voluntarily, consistently, without announcement, her subconscious has finished its deliberation. The internal debate is over. Her body has said everything it knows how to say. The only question remaining is whether you truly heard it. This isn't closeness born of comfort. This is closeness as a confession. When she presses her world against yours and stays there, she is not simply standing next to you. She is choosing you silently, completely, with everything she has, and hoping with every part of herself that you choose her back. Now sit with this for a moment. None of these signals should ever be read in isolation. One signal might mean comfort, one might be habit, one might mean nothing at all. But when 3, 4, 5 of them appear together, consistently, from the same woman, that is not coincidence. That is not your imagination. That is a conversation, a real one she has been having with you in a language she trusted you to understand. And understanding that conversation comes with something most men never stop to consider. She is not performing for you. She is revealing herself to you. Those are two completely different things. The man who grasps that distinction, who truly understands what it costs a woman to lower every wall she spent her whole life constructing, that is the man she actually wants. Not the loudest one, not the most aggressive one, not the one with the sharpest lines, the one who sees her. Most people who encounter something like this will think only about what they can take from it. But if you stay through all of this, it's because you wanted to understand, and that quality, that genuine desire to understand rather than to acquire, is exactly what she has been searching for all along. This was never about decoding her body. It was about honoring her trust. And when a man can hold that kind of truth with care, with awareness, with real respect, everything between them changes. Attraction was never about the perfect line at the perfect moment. It was never about the right move or the right words. It was always about the silent language running underneath everything. Her eyes, her posture, her proximity, the way her body shifted the moment you entered the room. It has been telling you the truth this entire time. You just needed someone to help you hear it. And now that you can, you won't be able to stop. Not because you memorized the technique or a list, but because you understood something true. Something that most men, good men, kind men who genuinely care, go their entire lives without grasping. The most powerful connections between two people never begin with a flawless conversation. They begin with a signal. Quiet, honest, brave, she has been sending it all along. And now, at last, you know how to listen. If any of this brought a specific moment flooding back, a moment you couldn't explain until right now, share it. And if you know someone who deserves to hear this, pass it on. Some truths are too important to keep to yourself.